This one. Hi, friends. I am recording in my car because I'm about to go get my chemical pill, and I figured I would just sit here and chit chat because I don't know. I kind of figured why not. I hope you guys are having a good day. One thing I was thinking about this morning, not this morning, I was just thinking about just like not too long ago, was just like a video that I saw last night, and the girl was basically saying how when you are creating, to do it from a place of you just want to be used as a vessel to create, and not because you are expecting some like external validation or you're expecting anything to come out of it, but you're just creating for the sake of creating. And I think there was a lot of beautiful messages in that. The first thing that she kind of said that made me feel like, okay, I really like the message here, was just like, you know, when you're creating things that you would enjoy. Because like for me, I like watching my YouTube videos. I actually enjoy seeing the channel messages and listening to the messages again, because I mean, like I said in one of my videos, like I'm my customer. So I enjoy listening to myself talk. I think I'm funny and I like the messages that I provide. But on top of that, just like being in a place where you're creating, just like when you're creating for things for yourself, you like kind of reclaim your power, because you're less like emotionally invested in if other people like see your content, if other people comment on it, or if anybody gives you compliments. Like you're not as invested in it, because it's just like, well, I didn't really make it for you guys, I made it for myself. Like I'm using my creative talents as a mirror, and I'm using it to create things that I want. I feel like a lot of people, when they create, when they become like business owners or, you know, whatever, it kind of starts from them making things for themselves. I feel like a lot of people that like start, like they start like a cooking business or like a restaurant or whatever, it probably started from them making things for themselves, and then like eventually other people being like, oh, I really like this, like can I have some, can you make some for me, them getting paid for it, and then it blowing up. Same thing as like when people like are clothing designers. Most of those people, they create that stuff for themselves first, you know, and then eventually they start branching out and creating things for other people. So I think there was just like a really good message there, just in the sense of like, you know what, like I'm just going to, especially in the beginning, I'm just going to focus on creating things that I enjoy, and then if other people like it, then that's cool, that's nice, but until then I'm just going to keep creating for myself. And again, like you just get it, you get the opportunity to kind of like reclaim your power, because one of the other things that she said was like how social media has really warped our minds to thinking that you have to be at the finish line on day one, and it's not realistic. That's just not the way that the world works. Most of the time when you see these creators, and not even just creators in terms of like YouTube or whatever, but just creators in general, people that have built businesses from the ground up on social media, by the time it gets to you, you don't notice it until they've already, until like they've been putting in work. It's kind of like the whole overnight success thing. Like you believe that you met this person when they first started, but in the reality they have been putting in work in the background. So to assume that like as soon as you start creating things everybody is going to love it is just not a realistic thing. So I think like that was one of the messages that I kind of got from her, was just like, yeah, like create whatever you want to create, but do it for yourself first, which I think is like a really big thing for creators, like especially like content creators or whatever. Like that's a big thing to hear, because especially when you're like watching videos and stuff and people are like, well, this is how you blow up and this is how you blow up, and it's like when you remove that desire to blow up and you replace that desire of blowing up with a desire just to create, it makes it, you feel a lot less pressure, you know what I mean, to make things that are like perfect. So that was one of the messages that I kind of got from her. But the other thing that I thought about when I was like listening to the video was just how important it is to take action and do things that are rooted in love. I feel like love is such a powerful source, and it's such like a renewable source. Because I'll just say, like, for me, I've been doing these YouTube videos probably for like a week now or whatever. And I'm at a point now where I get really excited about recording. I get really excited about editing and, you know, interacting with followers and stuff like that. Like, that's really exciting to me. That's fun for me. And while I've been in this journey, it's also been exhausting. Because at the end of the day, I have a 9 to 5. Like, I have kids, I have a job, I have a husband. Like, I have all of these other things going on outside of YouTube. So it requires a lot of time and it requires a lot of energy to do this stuff. But because I'm doing it out of a place of love, then somehow I've been able to find the energy to do all of this stuff. And it makes me think about the book from David Hawkins, Power versus Force, where he was like doing a study about like how people that are in a better mood, like in a better emotional state, they're stronger, like they're physically stronger, versus the people that are in negative states like fear or anger or jealousy or whatever other like negative emotional states you can think of. And it just kind of made me think about how much like love is like a renewable source. I really think you could connect to God consciousness and find all of the energy that you need to complete the things that you want to do when you are connected to a loving source, when you are focusing your energy on what are the things that I have going on that I can appreciate and I can look at in a lovingly way. I think when you focus on that, then God consciousness provides all of the love. God consciousness provides all of the energy that you need to complete whatever task it is that you need to complete. When I tell you, my daughter has been waking me up multiple times a night, like the other night she woke us up like 3 times, and I still got up that morning and I had a ton of energy. You know why? Because I had something that I could focus on that allowed me to connect to God consciousness in a lovingly way, and that is me creating these YouTube videos. Me having this hobby of me creating has allowed for me to focus on love, focus on being in a high vibrational state. And I think you can use it as a tool, just like in your regular reality. Like, the things that you focus on are the things that exist. And that's just what it is, period. And when I say exist, I don't mean like exist in the material world. I mean just exist inside of your own personal reality. Like, the things that you focus on and the things that you pay attention to are the things that you give power to. And the things that you give power to, you make more real. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. I remember when it was COVID, and my husband, and it wasn't even just my husband, it was my husband and like other people would tell me about, you know, what was going on and this and that and third. And I always would just say, COVID doesn't exist in my reality. And it's not as if COVID didn't exist. COVID did exist. It was like killing people and stuff like that. Like, it was a real thing. But when I say it didn't exist in my reality, it didn't exist in terms of I'm not going to give it my power. I am connected to a higher source, and if I pay attention to this thing, then I'm going to give it my power, and I'm not interested in giving it my power. The things that I want to give my power to are the things that I can look at in a lovingly way. And I feel like when you find those things to focus on, that loving energy mirrors back to you. I mean, it kind of goes back to that manifestation technique, the vantage point technique I was telling you guys about. Like, I feel like not only when you imagine yourself from the third person perspective, looking at yourself in a lovingly way, when you look at other things in a lovingly way, then that energy typically reflects itself back to you. And I can tell you, like, I've experienced that a lot in my life, because I have a lot of energy. Like, I have a lot of like positive energy. That's just the way that I carry myself. I'm a pretty happy person, and I will say, like, I could be in the room with people and they could be like really mean, really mean or angry or like be in a really bad mood, but I do my best to like keep my energy the way that, like, I do my best not to allow people to influence the way that I'm feeling and the way that I'm carrying myself. So like it's just natural that they start to be in a better mood because I'm already in a good mood, and they reflect that back to me. I feel like it's hard to be mean to a person that's happy. You know what I mean? Like, if you really are being like mean and nasty towards a person that is like in a good mood and is happy and is like trying to like connect to you and talk to you, especially if they're doing it in a way where it's like, I'm not being pushy, I'm just doing it because we have to exist together, then you want to be in a bad place. Like, you are purposely making yourself the victim. You really are. But anywho, I'm just saying, I just said that to say, like, when you carry yourself at a high vibrational place and you focus on the loving things in your environment, or the things that you have to deal with on a regular basis, you focus on the things that you can energetically deal with in a lovingly way, it reflects back to you and it gives you back energy. And I think that when you do that, it does create a portal for abundance. I think abundance is attracted to people who are happy. I really do feel that way. I don't think abundance energy wants to attract itself to people that are miserable, because I just feel like people that are like nasty and miserable and stuff, like, they don't, I'm trying to think of first, it's like, it's almost like they have blockages. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of resistance in being angry and nasty and mean. Like, there's a lot of like resistance in low vibrational energy and low vibrational emotions. And I feel like energy, that abundance is a divine substance that wants to flow. It wants to flow easily. It's like water going through a pipe. It's going to move in the direction where there's flow. It's not going to move in the direction where there's blockages. So I truly do think, like, you can create the portal for your own abundance by focusing on things inside of your external reality that you feel like you can naturally say, I like that, or I appreciate that. Or even if you can't even say I like it or I appreciate it, you can at least say, you know what, I'm at peace with that. I am accepting of that. I think that's a place to start, because I do feel like there's a lot of people that are not in great places. They are living inside of situations that they don't like, or they're, you know, in relationships with people that they don't care about. So it's hard for you to like wake up and be like, you know what, I love my life and I, you know, whatever. But you know what, you can be at peace with it. You can be at peace with your life and find things that you can focus on, that you could be like, you know what, I actually like that. Like, let's say that you're in a job that you absolutely hate. Maybe there's a job that you absolutely hate. What can you focus on inside of that job or your day-to-day reality that you can say, you know what, I hate X, Y, and Z, but I like my coworkers. Or maybe you don't like your coworkers, but you could say, I like that I'm getting a consistent check. You can just focus on that. Whatever it is, like, put your focus and your energy on that. Try not to like focus on the other stuff. And I think eventually, when you stop focusing on things and you stop giving it power, it starts to not exist. It really does start to dissolve materially. Okay, I'm about to go ahead and go to my appointment. I feel like I said enough. I said plenty. But I'm probably not going to edit this video. I'm probably just going to go ahead and post it. So I'll check you guys later. Hit me in the comments.